Good morning, small players, and welcome to another episode of Daily Market Screening. This morning we have a few stocks on scanner, the first one being COSM. It's just a couple minutes before 9, so maybe at 9 o'clock we'll get some extra news that will give us more stocks on the scanner, but that's, not necessary. Sometimes it's better to have less choices because then there's less places for the traders' attention to go to, and then setups have more follow through because more traders are looking at the same stocks. On COSM, it looks like we have levels approximately every 5 cents. It's a cheaper stock, but 5-cent range in a 50-cent stock is actually a decent range. So even though this price point is not my favorite thing to trade, this makes it more interesting, the fact that it has room to move. So we could potentially trade a bounce on this EMA 200 line, this pink line. If you guys have been following these streams, you know that this EMA 200 is a new line, that a new indicator that I started using a few months ago, and I really like it. Stock seem to really be paying attention to it, especially on longer term trends. And then other than that, we can trade a 5-minute flag break. This is potentially, making a flag now. It's also bouncing on 45, which is valid. The problem is VWAP is right above that. So we could potentially now even trade a bounce on VWAP with entry really here where it's at 47, with a stop right below 45 for a move towards 50. Then let's take a look at the daily chart and see what other key levels are. And profits 53, 57, and 67. I'm going to set an alert for break above all of them, and then we can use those as profit targets. Secondly, VWAP reclaim, not bounce, because bounce and VWAP would have been a bounce, drop to VWAP and then bounce. This one went below VWAP and reclaimed it, so it's technically, we call that VWAP reclaim. COSM. The next one is GSUN. This one I don't love because it's pretty choppy. If you see all these rejections, there's a rejection to 260, 263, 266, 262. So there are just so many of them. I'm going to alert for break above 270 because maybe when it breaks that level, it's going to clear some of those and then has more room to move towards high of day. And then let's see the daily chart. What other levels? Oh, this one's pretty beaten up. 5 would be a big level, but it's ways away. Something very bad happened to this stock. I'm just going to set an alert for all these squeeze levels for another day. 5, 10, and 15 are very big. But before that, let's take a look at, I'm going to look at intraday levels from previous days because I don't have any nearby levels. Okay, so I'm going to do 321. 350. And 4. And 450. Okay, so this one technically is doing a dead cat bounce today after this terrible, terrible drop. Is it high here? 270. Yeah, this 270 level is actually key because it's a level right here too. And then the next one is 305.32. Yeah, so I would wait for that. That makes sense why it's so choppy here because it's an uphill battle. We could even wait for break above 280, to clear out today's high of day. That could be safer, but it has potential because you saw, where the squeeze levels are. So it could get really, really interesting if it starts breaking above those levels. I don't know what I did. So there's no need to be impatient and try and get it here and be too early. I was saying trading being too early is even worse than being too late. If you're too late, at least you can scalp a move. If you're too early, you can really lose money and then never really catch the move. So very interested in this one, but I would wait to clear at least 270. Okay, then we have NRBO. We like this stock. That's an alert for break above high of day. I just want to take a look at the daily chart because I feel like I remember the stock being more expensive. Yeah. Yeah. I liked it more when it was a little more expensive. But 195 is a big level on the chart. So that's an alert for break above that. And then we have the other alerts. Okay, so a trade break above 150 here. It's bouncing on VWAP and EMA 20, but it has very close resistances, so I wouldn't be very interested in that bounce. But break above 50, I thought take that. NRBO. Okay, now let's take a look at Pally, which was a mover yesterday, and it still has volume. What is the consolidation here? 404. Okay, I'm going to sell it for break above 405 here. For a squeeze towards yesterday's high. For short bias traders, if it breaks below VWAP, that's a valid short towards 3.6 at 3.4 and then 3.2 and then break below 3.2 is a separate short for a move towards 3 and yesterday's high of day. 3 to 270, 250. I mean, yesterday's low of day. Since this one was a mover yesterday, but it still has volume today. So this is the type of setup that you would want as a short bias trader. Even if we take this trade on 405 break towards 450, if you see a rejection on 450, you can short that move downwards. Just note, the higher you short, the higher risk you have of getting stopped out because more short bias traders are getting stopped out the higher and higher it goes. And then these will have volume. Although I like this chart a lot, NRGD, just unfortunately doesn't really have volume today, but this would technically be a dead cat bounce. So I'm going to keep it on watch list, see if it picks up some volume. And then we can trade break above 27.50, 28, 28.50 for a dead cat bounce. It could set up a bounce too, but on dead cat bounce setups, I just like to trade breakouts because we're still in shorts territory on the bounces and just it's too much risk for me. Okay, you guys, I will see you in the chat room.